Pasuk in this week's parsha begins, Vayechi Yaakov Be'eretz Mitzrayim Shvasrei Shana. Yaakov lives in Eretz Mitzrayim, in the land of Egypt, for 17 years. Vayihi Yimei Yaakov Shnei Chayav Sheva Shanim V'Arbaim U'Ma'asha. And altogether, it was 147 years. 17 years in the land of Egypt, 130 years elsewhere. Altogether, 147. In Zohar HaKadosh, it says, the 17 years that Yaakov lived in Eretz Mitzrayim, in the land of Egypt, were the main years of his life. In those years, Yaakov lived without tsar, without pain, without suffering, without ra, without evil, without yetzer hara. The Zohar describes Yaakov's life in those years as me'ein olam haba, almost the same as olam haba. Sfas Emes doesn't quote the Zohar, but he elaborates, and he says that's what it means in the pasuk Vayechi Yaakov be'eretz Mitzrayim shvasrei shana, that he lived in the land of Egypt. In those 17 years, he was Dovuk B'chayim. He was attached to Vayechi Yaakov, to whatever Chayim refers to, whatever that means, the light of life, the best years. Vayechi Yaakov, he lived that in Eretz Mitzrayim. And none of the tumah, the impurity of Mitzrayim, was able to penetrate the holiness, the fortification of holiness of Yaakov. Further, the Sfas Emes says a lashon, Tov Reish Lamed Vav, Sfas Emes, V'hayu Yud Zayin Shanim Elu Hachana L'chol Hagolus. These 17 years were preparation for all of Golus, for all of exile, for all of eternity. That means that we in the 21st century that are living in Golus are only able to keep strong in our faith, to keep strong in our values and our dedication to God because of these 17 years that Yaakov prepared in Mitzrayim. He prepared a path. Maise Avo Siman Labanim. Parshas Vayechi is at the end of Sefer Bereshis, and he prepared a path through Golus for his children. So much so that at the end of Golus, he enabled a life of below tsar, without pain, below yetzer hara, me'ein olam haba. Let's try to understand this. Let's try to understand Yaakov's life in Eretz Mitzrayim. What was it about? What did he prepare for us? How does it help us with our challenges today? As Rav Moshe Rafal so eloquently said in the Hakdama, Vayechi Yaakov, Rashi comments, Loma Parsha Zu Stuma. Why is this Parsha closed in, almost claustrophobic feeling? Can't get out. We can't get out of it. Why was it closed in? Just as an aside, what is a stuma? Anybody know?
Yeah.
Stuma.
Stuma is hidden.
Hidden. Yeah, but what does it mean that this parsha is stuma?
Oh, well, there's no break.
There's no break.
It's filled with something. Satum.
Right. Satum. Which means that when you look in a Sefer Torah, get at the end of one parsha to the beginning of the next parsha, there's space.
Some specifically.
Some skips a line, others just from one side to the next side
to the next. One.
This parsha continues directly from Parshas Vayechi. There's no space. So it's called a stuma. It's closed up. Lama Parsha Zu Stuma. Lefi Shekevan Sheniftar Yaakov Avinu, since Yaakov Avinu dies in our parsha, Nistamu Einean V'Liban Shal Yisrael Mitoras Hashibud. The eyes and the hearts of Klal Yisrael are closed up, just as the parsha is. Why? Because now they start working in Mitzrayim and they've become slaves to the Egyptian people. That happened, corresponded to the death of Yaakov. And since Yaakov died, the parsha is stuma to tell us that the eyes and the hearts of the Bnei Yisrael became sasum, closed up. Dover Acher, that's one pshat. Another pshat is Shebikesh Ligalos Es Haket Libano. Yaakov wanted to tell his children when the end of time would be. And it was hidden. Two pshat. In our shir, we like to go with the theme that whenever Rashi says two pshatim, they're interrelated. They're really the same pshat. They have the same theme. You have one idea that the parsha is sasum, and you have two lessons. One could be that they became depressed, they became closed up, their hearts and their eyes because of the tzaras hashibu, because now they're working for the Egyptians. And the second pshat is that Yaakov Avinu wanted to reveal when the end of time would be, what would be at the end of time. And nista mimenu, it became hidden from him. What does one pshat have to do with the other pshats? And how can we tie them together? Another question. Why does the Torah want to bring out these ideas by closing the parsha, so to speak? Because how does closing the parsha teach us these ideas? Just because it's like a nice word, closing, so that's plugged or closing, and these are plugged and closing, so that's closed and plugged, so this is closed and plugged. What's the connection? The Gemara in Tainis, Daf Hey Amud Aleph, Rashi brings it, you know what the Gemara says? Rashi brings it, the Torah describes the death of Yaakov. In fact, the Torah doesn't say that he dies. It just says, Vayechi El Amav. He came sort of gathered to his people, to his nation.
So the Gemara was there?
Tainis Daf Hey, and it explains why does the Gemara Vayigva Vayesef El Amav? Why does the Torah not explicitly say that he dies? It says the famous Gemara, Rashi's famous, Yaakov Avinu lo meis. He didn't die. Aha.
But didn't he request from Hashem to be sick before he died so he can prepare everything? So the concept of sickness for first time was in the Torah?
Yes, correct. But Rashi says he didn't die. So then where is he? Have you seen Yaakov? Where's Yaakov? Avinu.
Oh. Yeah. I've seen his legacy, but I haven't seen his legacy.
So what does it mean, Yaakov Avinu lo meis?
Question.
What does that mean? And finally, one of my most favorite psukim, Vayikra Yaakov el banav. Yaakov calls to his children. This is of course before he didn't die. He called to his children and he told them, Hey osvu va'agido lachem es asher yikra eschem ba'achras hayam. Gather together and I'm going to tell you what it's going to be, what's going to happen to you in the end of time. Yikovtzu v'shimu b'nei Yaakov v'shimu al Yisrael avich. Gather together and listen to me, the children of Yaakov. Listen to Yisrael, your father. The Gemara in Psachim 56a, Bikesh Yaakov legalos libanav kates hayamin. Yaakov wanted to reveal to his children the end of days. V'nistalka mimenu shchina. And the shchina went away from him. And we know what happened then. He gave them brachos instead. Ruven b'choriyata, kochi reshsoni, as you say, seseros, etc. Yaakov became scared. Omar, Shema, chas v'shalom, yesh b'mitasi su. Perhaps there is a blemish in my bed, literally meaning
My offspring.
my children. Is there something wrong with you guys? I was about to tell you what's going to be at the end of time, and now I can't remember anymore. What did you guys do? Amru lo banav. No. Shema Yisrael. Listen, Yaakov. Yisrael. Keshem she'ein b'libcha ela echad, kach ein b'libeinu ela echad. Just like you have in your heart only one, so too we, in our heart, there is only one. Ba'osa shaz, in that time. Posach Yaakov Avinu v'omar, Baruch Hashem kvod malchuso leolam va'ed. Blessed be the kvod malchuso, the glory, the honor of his kingdom, forever and ever. Says the Gemara, because of this Maisa, because of what happened here, Yaakov thought that his children thought something, maybe there was something wrong, maybe they didn't truly believe, and they said, no, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, and he says, oh, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem Kavod Malchus Olam Vad. That's why we say creation. And that's why we say Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuso Le'olam Vad quietly, because this is why what Yaakov said to his children. So the Gemara over there asks, why do you say it quietly? Why don't you say it loud? So the Gemara answers. One answer is that since Shema is written in the Torah, and V'ahavta is written in the Torah, and V'hayim Shemo is written in the Torah, and Vayomer is written in the Torah, and Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Le'olam Vad is not written in the Torah, it's just something that happened to Yaakov Avinu. You have to say it b'chashai, quietly, to differentiate. That's what the Gemara says. The Gemara also offers a different teretz. The Gemara uses a mashal, parable, to explain this teretz. Imagine the daughter of a king, a princess, and she smells food on a pot, and she goes to see what it is, and it's the remnants of the Westmount Shul chalt. And she says, oh, that must have been amazing on Shabbos, and there's not much left. So she tells her servants, can you please scrape it for me?
Sure.
So these servants say, well, we can't really do that, because they're thinking to themselves and saying, she's a princess. we can't scrape it. And on the other hand, she really wants it. It's very tasty. It smells very good. He says, but it wouldn't be honorable to serve a princess scrapings of the Westmount cholent. They said, you know what we'll do? We'll do it quietly. We won't tell him. And that's why, says the Gemara, we say Baruch Shem Kavod Machusa Le'olam Va'ed quietly. Huh? Okay. So, first of all, we have to understand what is this conversation between Yaakov and his children. What's going on? He forgets the Nevuah, so he blames it on his children. They say Shema Yisrael, and he says Baruch Shem Kavod Machusa Le'olam Va'ed. And that was so powerful that we have to say it during Kriya Shema every day. We have to say it quietly, because either it's not in the Torah, or because it's something that's not honorable, but it tastes so good. Why do we have to say that quietly? The following shtickle is from a sefer called Tiferes Shimshon, from Shamshon Pinchas, in Ma'amarim on Baruch Shem Kavod Machusa Le'olam.
Was this on Tefillah?
No. Harshios. Rav Shamshin says, we all know that the foundation of Yiddishkeit is Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. We say it twice a day. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad is the truth of the world. There is only one Hashem. He is all-encompassing. Echad, Yochid, Umiyuchad. Hoya, Hoive, V'yiyeh. That is the truth. There's nothing besides for Hashem. Nothing else exists. What is Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusa Le'olam Va'ed? Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusa Le'olam Va'ed means Baruch Shem. Blessed be the name of Kavod Malchusa Le'olam Va'ed. Why didn't it just say Baruch Kavod Malchusa Le'olam Va'ed? Why does it say Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusa Le'olam Va'ed? Blessed be the name of the Kavod Malchusa Le'olam Va'ed? So he brings a Nefesh HaChaim, Chaim Volozhin, who explains that Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusa Le'olam Va'ed is a reference to the Shem Hashem. What is a Shem? Imagine if a person would be on a desert island and he lived by himself for 35 years. He would probably forget his name. Because a person doesn't think about himself as his name. He thinks about himself as himself. His name is a way for other people to connect to him, to relate to him. Not just to reference him like a little card out of a stack. That's not what a name is. A name is his character, his mahus, his being.
His brand.
His brand. It's a way for his friends to relate to him. Oh, that's Dan. Not just Dan. That's Dan. Right? It's a way to bring out his personality in his name. I was just at bris today, and the rabbi said something similar. It's a way to share your inner being, your essence, with your friends in the world. A way for them to connect to you. And similarly, Shem Hashem. The Shem Hashem is not the essence of Hashem. It's not what he represents and stands for. It's a way for us to relate to him. Yud Kei Vav Kei, the obvious Hoya Hoiva V'yiyeh, Pashut Pshat. He was, He is, He will always be. It's a way for us to relate to something much, much larger, much truer than we can describe with English words. The Shem Hashem. Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yud, our Master, to our relationship with Him, how we connect to Him, how we view Him. Shulchan Aruch, it says, Shivisi Hashem lenegdi tamid. A person always has to have God in front of you all the time. You should literally have the Shem Hashem. That's the reason for the minhag, the custom to have those cards in the shul, the plaques that have the Shemos, the Shem Hashem, and some Siddurim they have those. You always have to visualize the Shem Hashem in front of you, because that's how we relate to Hashem's name. To actually visualize the letters of Hashem's name in our minds. When we say Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuso Liolam Va'ed, we're saying blessed be the name. What's Kavod Malchuso? Kavod Malchuso is the essence of His Malchus, the honor of His Malchus. But how do we relate to the honor of the Malchus? That's through the Shem. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuso, the name which represents the honor of the Malchus, Liolam Va'ed, which means that we're mamlich. We're saying that which we have just said, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, is true now, it's true to us, it will always be true. And we relate to that emes through our relationship with Him. Shema Yisrael is the truth, the essence, the objective truth. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusay is how we relate, how Hashem relates to us, our relationship with that truth, how the truth impacts us. Now, what's a greater statement? Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, or Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusay Liolam Va'ed? So Rabbi Chaim Volozhin says, Shema Yisrael is a greater statement, much more powerful. That's the Kavod Malchusay, that's the essence of the truth. The Shem Kavod Malchusu is just how that affects us and how we can relate in our relationship with Hashem. We're blessing Him. Is it a praise to tell the king, King, you are the king of, long live the king, of 100,000 ant farms? And farms.
Yes.
Praise be you, God, the King of all of us, the ants, your servants. It's not such a great praise to Hashem. Yeah. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Hear the objective greatness and truth of the oneness of God. But Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusa Liolam Va'ed, blessed be you because you have a relationship with us. Blessed be you through your relationship with us. That's not such a great praise. So Chaim Volozhin says, that's the pshat in the Gemara. The Gemara says, this mashal with this princess, she wanted the little crumbs and crust from the Westmount cholent. Not so honorable, is it? But it's gishmak. Gishmak. That's why we say it quietly. You can't say that loud. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusa Liolam Va'ed. Right? You're the greatest king of all the ants. You can't do that. That's so juicy. Hashem. I love Sunday night chant. Nothing compares. The Maral is a different shot. Why do we say Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusa Liolam Va'ed quietly? He says, and this is classic Maral, things that you say quietly represent things which are hidden. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusa is not explicit in our Torah. It's not explained to us openly in a way that we can understand it. It's through a story, we somehow found it. It's hidden. Why? Because words which are so great can't be put into words, can be revealed. They have to be hidden. Why do we say Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuso Le'olam Va'ed quietly? Because you can't say that too loud. It's too powerful to be revealed into the world. What does that mean? How do you prove the greatness of God? How can you, I don't have to prove the greatness of God, but how can we emphasize, it's better not prove, emphasize the greatness of God? What's the greatest quality of God? So Shamshin gives a much. If you would see Og Melech Habashan, 10 feet tall, and you say, Og, he can take that big building and just pick it up. He's got these big hunk muscles bulging out of his arms. So you'll say, wow, Og Melech Habashan, he can pick up a building. Right? Well, you'll praise him, but then you'll think to yourself, oh yeah, he's big and strong. That's why he can pick up a building. But imagine if Og Melech Habashan, this huge, giant, bulky, could fit into an anthill. Then you would say, whoa, Og Melech Habashan can fit into an anthill. That's amazing. It's not so wondrous. I mean, it's a great feat and accomplishment that he can pick up the building with his bare hands. But it's obvious. The master of the worlds, the Kol Yochel, that he can, that he is Kel Godol Agibor V'Anora. These are his praises. Yeah, of course. These are his truths. These are his praises. But that he rests his Shechina among the ants, we, the people who are meaningless. In fact, this is how the philosophers, the older philosophers, this is the mistakes they made. The philosophers, they said, they argued that it can't possibly be that Hashem knows what's going on in the world. Why? He's so great. He's the master of the universe. He created the world. He has no interest in us. It doesn't mean anything to... It's like we would have an interest in how many ants and the ant farm and the ant farm are carrying what? We don't, most of us, you? No. Well, we don't have an interest in that. It's too minuscule for us to concentrate and focus our resources on. But since the Ribono Shalom doesn't have limited resources, since the Ribono Shalom is not confined or bound, the Ribono Shalom even cares about his ants. The Jewish people. No matter how small we are, no matter how minuscule and how negligent we might think we are to him, to his greatness. Chayav kol Adam lumar b'shvili nivra ha'olam. Everybody is obligated to say, the world was created for me. I'm important. Hashem cares about me. And not because I'm important, just the opposite. Even though I'm unimportant, the relationship is so valuable to Hashem. Hashem cares about every twitch that I make with my eye and movement that I make with my finger. Did I think today that I want to serve Hashem, and how could I can bring out His greatness even more? So what emphasizes the greatness of the Ribono Shalom? Is it the Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad? Or is it the Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Le'olam Va'ed? The Maral argues it's the Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Le'olam Va'ed. Certainly, they're both true. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad is the objective greatness and truth of God. But in a world that we live in, a dark world, where we don't see the objective truth and greatness of God clearly, we have to say it to ourselves twice a day and repeat it to ourselves twice. We have to say Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Olam Ba. We praise the Ribono Shel Olam for caring and taking interest in us, being our master, being caring about everything that happens, taking care of us, thanking Him, everything, in our relationship with Hashem. We praise Him by saying Baruch Shem. Blessed be the name of Hashem and how we relate to Him. Kvod Malchuso L'Olam Ba. Yaakov Avinu was the concept of the greatest light that a human being can possibly reach, even in the deepest, darkest trenches of Golus. Yaakov Avinu was in Eretz Mitzrayim, the worst of all places, the most immoral of places. Yaakov Avinu had a hard life. He went through a lot of difficulties. Lavan, Esau, Yosef. He suffered through trials and tribulations, very human trials and tribulations of this world. But he overcame them. In fact, his bracha to Fri May and Menashe, Hamalach Hagoyol Oisi Mikol Ra Yivarechas Ana'arim. The Malach, the Redeemer, who has saved me from all evil. That means that Yaakov Avinu faced all evil. Nevertheless, the Malach saved him. Yivarechas Ana'arim. That strength should give bracha to the children. Yaakov Avinu started off in a very difficult position. He went into Golus. But Yaakov Avinu came out with Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. He wanted to prepare his children for the oncoming Golus that was to come for the next few thousand years. He was preparing his children. Heyosvu v'yagido lachem es asher yikra eschem ba'acharis hayomim. Gather together and I'm going to tell you what's going to be at the end of time. How you are going to be able to have this kind of light which I am living through now, even in the darkest places, even in Mitzrayim. I'll tell you how to live without a Yetzer Hara. I'll tell you how to live without Tzaras. I'll tell you how to see the Ribono Shel Olam clearly, the Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. All of a sudden he forgets. What? Maybe Shema Yesh B'chem. Maybe Shema Yesh B'mitasi Psul. What does that mean? Shema Yesh B'mitasi Psul. Is there something wrong with one of you? Do you not believe in the Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, in the clarity? Say to the children, Kishem she'ein b'mitascha psul, Kishem she'ein b'cha psul, just like you saying Shema Yisrael, we're also saying. So then why can't I see the cakes clearly? The Ribono Shel Olam wanted us to live in Golus without the clarity of Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. If we had the clarity of Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, that objective knowledge, clarity, without any trials or tribulations and tests not to, then we wouldn't be in Golus. The whole definition of Golus is not physical exile, it's spiritual exile. Yaakov, when he was mistabik lechius in Mitzrayim, Vayechi Yaakov be'eretz Mitzrayim, he wasn't in Golus anymore. He lived with Shema Yisrael, with Tveikus B'Hashem. But his children didn't have that Tveikus. They were Yud Beis Shvatim. They were 12 Shvatim. Each one of them had their own issues, their own trials and tribulations that they had to deal with. They didn't live with this clarity of oneness that Yaakov Avinu represented. That's what it means that Yaakov forgot. He couldn't reveal that to them. They had to live in the Golus. They had to live in the Golus. So he got scared. Is there no Shema Yisrael here? And they said, no. Just like you only have Kishen Shem B'li B'cha Ela Echad Kach Ein B'li Beinu Ela Echad. Even though our avoda is different, we don't see the Rabbanu Shalom as clearly as you do. We don't live on the level of Malachim that the Svarim Hakadoshim tell us Yaakov reached when he became Yisrael. We don't live in that realm. We live in the human world. And we have our tests. And sometimes it's difficult to see the Shema Yisrael. Still, we overcome it. And we say, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Shem Shem B'libcha El Echad. Kach Ein B'libeinu El Echad. In a little bit of a different way. Says Yaakov Avinu. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Eliolam Boed. That's the relationship you have with the Rabbanu Shalom in Galus. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Eliolam Boed. It's the way you relate to Hashem. It's the way Hashem deals with you and your ability to recognize it and praise Him. That's Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Eliolam Boed. That's why the Parsha is Stuma. Closed. Because these kinds of secrets, the relationship which we have with the Rabbanu Shalom, can't be explained. It can't be told openly in the Torah. Yaakov can't tell his children about what's going to be in the end of time. Because that objective truth and oneness, the emes, titain emes liYaakov, that's restricted to Yaakov. For us, we have emunah. We don't know, but we still believe. We can't see clearly, but we still believe. The Parsha is Stuma. What is Parsha? Parsha means, it's the Parsha of the week, right? But it also, the word means to explain. To explain to us. This can't be explained. It's not clear. It's not clear. It can't be clear to us. But still we have emunah. It's not emes liYaakov, it's emunah. And that's why these pshatim are all one and the same. Why is the Parsha Stuma? Because after Yaakov Avinu died, he took with him that ability of rising above the Golus and seeing the objective truth of Hashem. And now, Nistuvu Eineihem V'Liban Shel Yisrael. The eyes and the hearts of Yisrael were closed. They can't see anymore. The cloud is there. It's too cloudy. You can't see through. I don't see Hashem. I don't know where He is. I don't know if He cares about me. Nistumu Eineihem V'Liban Shel Yisrael Mitzaros Hashibud. And what's the other pshat? Bikesh Yaakov Avinu legalus esaketz v'nista mimenu. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. He wanted to put that energy to rise above to the next generation. But Hashem had other plans. Sasemes explains this clearly and says, the reason why Hashem didn't allow Yaakov to pass this down to his children is because if he would have, we wouldn't be in Golus. We wouldn't be able to have Emunah. Emunah brings to emes, but if we see the epitome of emes, we can't have Emunah. And the Ribono Shel Olam cares about us so much that he wants his only nachas. His nachas is that we should have Emunah in him. He put us into this world only for that reason, so that we can believe in him. And how happy he is. Say, Baruch Hashem Kavod Malchus Olam Ba'ad. Maybe it's not the most honorable kind of praise to Hashem, but it's the most geschmack. Yaakov Avinu lo meis. He didn't die. As we said before, obviously, he's not around anymore. But what didn't die? The Titain Emes Yaakov didn't die. It still lives with us. The Shema Yisrael is Koyach Nitzchi. This is the Maral. The Shema Yisrael, to see the objective truth of it, is everlasting. And so says the Sfas Emes, we often get bouts of that kind of truth and objective. We see it sometimes. When our Emunah has taken us to a great level, we can get a bout of Titain Emes Yaakov. It's that energy that Yaakov lived in Mitzrayim with, that is the hachana l'golus. It keeps us going in golus, that we know that we can break through the cloud and we can come out of the dark tunnel to a light. So even though now in this world, until Mashiach comes, we only can experience it from time to time, the Yaakov Avinu lo meis, we think about that from time to time here. We keep on plugging forward with our Emunah through the darkness, until ultimately there will be a time where we will all be like Yaakov. We will all see Hashem clearly. We will all be ma'aminim in the greatest sense, because it's not a leap of faith, quote unquote. It's the emes right in our hands, the light right in our eyes. That was Parshas Vayechi, where Yaakov implants an ability, puts this koach into Golus of both Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, but we can't live with that all the time. We live with Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Olam, but we say it very quietly. There are times where we say it loud. Maybe that's another shmuz.
It's Malachim. Because we're Malachim. So we're already at that. Yaakov is left.
So then it's all open. It's all open. So it doesn't have to be quiet anymore.
Okay. We're at a new level.
Open the field with the Malachim.
We're at a higher level.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be hidden.
That's right.
The Ribono Shel Olam.
It's not such a busha that he's with us then. When you're a Malach, I'm okay with the Malach. That's my Heber. Right. But with the Yidden down there, with the Shmitz world, look, other Malachim Yom Kippur. Baruch Shem Kavod. That's my Heber. Rolling white.
Hashem Yisborach should give us the koach to continue on firm in our Emunah, to relate properly to the Shem Hashem, to constantly remind ourselves that we can reach Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad in this world twice a day, from time to time, but constantly reminding us. And if we do that and live properly, then Parshas Vayechi will come alive with the Bias Gold Tzedek, B'Mehira V'Yameinu. Amen.
Amen. Amen.